Welcome, everybody. Bienvenidos.
Gracias.
Taking a page from this wonderful book that we're going to talk about today,
Yes.
Sebi and the Land of Cha-Cha-Cha.
Cha.
So, first of all, this is a very special book for you guys, obviously.
Very special. Dedicated to our daughter, so
Exactly.
very special.
And your daughter, Savella,
Savella,
is also the nickname Sebi.
Sebi.
So, as we know, you guys, this is Sebi's story.
Yes.
Right? In a way.
In a way.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly real what happened in real life, I'm sure, but
She learned merengues, cha-cha y samba, the three dances that we showcase. There's a little link at the end of the book that parents can go to. And it's like a dance class for little kids, and that was the first time that she's in it with her three best friends in real life, and that was the first time that she has ever done the cha-cha or the merengue or the samba. So it was really funny because she was like, "What am I doing?" But it was very, very cute.
yeah. Well, and this is wonderful. So this is a bilingual book. The English version, the mostly English version, has a lot of words in Spanish. Tell me a little bit about what inspired you guys to write a bilingual book.
You start with that one.
So
Joint decision, but
it was a joint decision. No, what happened was, as new parents, we were very adamant about we have to read every single night, and I think most parents do that. It's almost like a ritual at night to go to bed and you read to your kids. And I realized there was no book that embraced the Latin culture when it comes to dancing. There's a lot of books about ballet, and there's wonderful books about ballet and tap, but there was nothing that would teach kids how to be a ballroom dancer, like Latin rhythms. And I told Eric, I want to find something that is bilingual that talks to Savella about what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Salsa, merengue, cha-cha-cha, bachata,
Yes.
y paso doble, and samba, and that's how it started, like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, and as we were doing the illustrations and the storytelling, even exploring, some of the culture. Even in the very beginning of the book, she's watching El Carnaval and having this
Carnival.
Carnival.
El Carnaval.
Carnival. But even having that, it was like building in the culture, building in the language, building in the experiences of these dances was something special to us. And another thing to add is a lot of the books we would read were ballet driven, like she had mentioned, and it was catering just to girls, whereas in Latin rhythms and in ballroom, you have a male partner who's helping lead the dance, and we really wanted this to be for boys and girls. So in the book, she has her best friend, she's dancing with this little boy, and it gets, boys and girls out moving.
And nowadays, because of the success of Dancing with the Stars, and So You Think You Can Dance, and now World of Dance, there's a lot of outlets out there about dancing. And ballroom and Latin rhythms have become hot, right? And the cool thing about it is that the girl needs a boy to be able to dance. Otherwise, you can't. And I always tell people there's nothing more sexy than a guy that knows how to do all those things. And they're strong. Even though they look tiny, those guys are strong, So it's just go to dance classes. You're a little kid. Nobody's gonna tease you, boy, because you're gonna be it at school. You know what I mean? You're the kid.
That's why she fell in love with me with my dance skills.
Not really. Not really. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about because I went the opposite way.
But you have the best teacher then.
She's a fantastic dancer. I don't know if you want to say a fantastic teacher.
I'm not a great teacher. I am, but not your teacher.
Yeah, somebody else should.
I get
close,
very
too close.
I get
Too close.
very
Yeah, it's like your
frustrated.
parent tries to teach
I told
you. Your wife
you
tries to teach you.
backwards. It's like, but what? It's backwards, Eric. Backwards.
Well, and back to the book. I don't want to give too much away, but obviously, like you mentioned, Sebi goes on this journey, learns how to dance with her friend.
Yeah.
Keeke.
Keeke.
Which is my nephew.
Oh, okay.
No,
His little
se
nickname.
parece. He doesn't look like my nephew, but like Keeke is my nephew.
Keeke.
Yeah.
And I love that at the end of the book, you really delve in. You go further, I think, not just mentioning these dances, but you kind of go into the origins a little bit of like where these dances were born and a little bit of the background of it. Why was that so important for you to kind of, obviously, I mean, I know why it's so important for us to know where merengue is from and all that stuff, but tell me, why was it so important for you to kind of just give kids also this background?
Even though it's for preschoolers, and it's a very elemental way of teaching because we only teach the basic step of each dance.
And it's not just preschool. You can read this. It's definitely a bigger story than just preschool.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's for kids, right? So if you're gonna teach them something, let's just go all the way. Because one thing is, it's so wonderful to know, oh, merengue, and this is how we dance merengue. But it comes from Dominican Republic.
But what is merengue?
You know what I mean? And
Sí, wow.
claro, so they have a little bit more knowledge about where it came from.
Yeah,
I think it's
also kind of
valuable.
Own that, that love the roots.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, of course.
So obviously, I want to know. You're obviously going to want everybody to love this book, but what did
We hope.
Sebi think of the book when you first showed it to her?
She loves it now. At
she
the
loves
beginning,
it.
she was a little bit confused. And she's like, what do you mean? And then we saw the sketches, and it said, Sebi, this is you. That's not me.
Yeah, that's
And
not
well, this is an
me.
abstract version of
That's
you.
not
You know what I mean?
Keeke.
That's not Keeke. And now she gets a kick out of it, and now she's proud of it. You know what I mean? It's very interesting to see her little face when she's looking at the illustrations, and she doesn't say a lot, but she's kind of like, I know that they're so smart, you know?
Yeah.
So I know that inside there, she's appreciating. And
She loved being a part of the link, like in the back of the book, when
Yeah.
you know you're being able to dance with her best friends and growing up as she's doing ballet, now doing this, she loves being a part of the whole process. With
You guys have to see it's sebibook.com. When they teach the merengue, the Pasha, the instructor, it's 3 girls and 1 boy. Sebi doing the merengue, it's so, like, I was such a proud mama because she's like, shake it. I was like, there you go. She was the only Latina in the group. I'm going, you know what, it shows.
That's my baby right there.
She got her hips
Lo
into
tiene en
it.
la sangre. You know, she was so into it, and I was like, Sebi, great. And then she's showing off even more. But it was the cutest thing when she's moving, but like making no sense.
Yeah.
Not even merengue. She was just doing her own thing. You know what I mean? But I'm going, go ahead, do it.
I don't, every time someone tells me like I don't dance, I'm like everybody can dance. Everybody
Yeah.
can dance. You know, come on, just go out
I
there and
know.
do it.
You
Half
know
of it
that-
is confidence.
Absolutely.
Eric's first experience with Latin rhythms was at the wedding.
Not my
For the
first.
pretty much.
My first rehearsed experience,
Okay.
My first what?
like
Rehearsed.
rehearsed.
Okay.
I can throw a mean salsa.
Oh, this is gonna get really.
Anyway, it's funny, I know. Okay, porque we did cha-cha and we did a foxtrot, right?
For our wedding.
Because for the
Wow.
first dance, I said,
Commitment.
Eric, let's just go all out, like Dancing with the Stars. You know, it was a big wedding in Puerto Rico, 250 people. We had a lot of people traveling
Right.
to the wedding. I said, let's just do something really creative. So I rented a dance studio. I got a choreographer to do something really nice. And he was mortified. So we would show up at rehearsal,
Eric's like,
annoyed.
Little drum-
And
Muy
I'm going,
dramática.
let's do something. I'm like, Eric, it's embarrassing. This guy thinks that we like hate each other instead of like we're getting married. And he's like, can you just put some effort into it? And he was like so stiff. And I said, listen, do it like you're making fun of yourself. You know, just try to do a cha-cha like you're acting ridiculous.
dance like no one.
He said, what do you mean like this? I'm going, that's exactly right. That's exactly what I need
Perfect.
for you to steal the show. Once he got that, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what, let
Well,
me just
Yeah, then on the wedding day, when I missed a step, I was pissed. I was so mad. I was like, oh, it was so good, but I missed a step. I was all invested at that point.
I know. So this book means a lot to him because he did a professional cha-cha at his wedding.
Yeah.
I wanted him to do
true
Dancing
story.
with the Stars just so he could dedicate it to Savella. He doesn't want.
Yeah, and you did Mira Quien Baila, right?
I did Mira Quien Baila, but as a
So you,
just a one-time thing.
Right,
I
right.
had a single with Flo Rida.
Right.
So they let me open the show, and then I did a tango
yeah.
with Charlie, Johnny Lozada.
Johnny
I mean,
Lozada.
Charlie. My
Yeah.
God, con Johnny, I know. Con Johnny, he won.
Yeah.
Like after that, he won, and that we rehearsed one day.
Wow.
It was insane. I remember that I fell like at the end. And nobody knows this. It's funny. My heel got caught with the dress, so the last step I fall. But because thank God I danced a little bit, I was able to fake it, and I'm like, wow, like I did a whole turn on the
Yeah.
floor. But I was pissed, talking about pissed, because it's live, and I'm like, oh my God. And some people noticed that I actually fell. I just sold it like, wow, this is
Yeah, I
wonderful. And
did not
Johnny
notice.
looks at me, and I'm like, I was so mad. Anyway. You didn't notice.
Yeah, I don't think anybody noticed.
Bad.
And tell me a little bit more about kind of, I think, okay, so I'm Colombian. I was born in Colombia,
Okay.
and like I got here when I was 6. So I was fortunate enough that my mom spoke Spanish to me every single day. I grew up on Telemundo and Univision, you know, on all of the wonderful things from my culture. And sometimes I wonder myself, like, how am I, if I have a child someday, how am I gonna, you know, pass that on? Like, it just seems like insurmountable to me.
Yeah, it's
How have you
hard.
guys, like, what kind of challenges have you guys faced as, you know, trying to raise a bilingual child, essentially?
You know, it's my first language. We hired my nanny, our nanny. She's been with Savella since Savella was 6 weeks old. And it was super important to me that she was a Latino lady that only spoke Spanish. And we
She
interviewed.
speaks both, but with Savella, she only speaks Spanish.
Yeah, and her English is great. It's a thick accent, right?
Right.
But I know she's fully bilingual, and I want her first language to be Spanish. So with the baby, she only speaks in Spanish. That's been instrumental. So Daddy doesn't speak a lot of Spanish, but I do. He gets mad at me. I'll do at least 80% in Spanish. I'm not gonna lie. She fights it, you know, because
hard.
Her
she's
first language naturally becomes English because in
Yeah.
school and she's around it all the
Exactly.
time. But with the help of our nanny being with her and also Roselyn, once she knows, if she goes to you and starts talking to you and you respond in Spanish and she knows she's not going to get you to switch to English, she'll just stay in Spanish with you. So she's fully bilingual and she'll stay
Yeah.
full conversations and talk in Spanish.
Yeah.
But if she knows you speak English, she'll push you to keep trying to go back to English.
Yeah.
So that's what happens with Roselyn and her, is that
Yeah.
they end up going back and forth, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of English if I'm around.
Right.
Specifically because she's talking to me in English. Now, I'm now taking Spanish classes because I'm trying to keep up because my
Yes.
daughter is doing more than me.
Round of
It's
applause
getting me
for that.
motivated. And so now I'll jump in and try and say some, talk Spanish
he
with her, and
understands
then
a lot. He acts like he
she'll tease
doesn't,
me.
but he understands a lot. Because sometimes I'm speaking with somebody, and then he just interjects, right? And he answers. I'm going.
My
"Well, how do
plan
you
was to
know?"
never
And he's
tell
like, "Oh, I
anyone. That
understand."
way I'd always have it. And then I would just
What I'll
interject.
do is
go,
that
"Whoa,
what I'll do is that
what
I
are you
speak
saying?"
very fast, and that way he'll never.
That's how she tries to lose me, but I'm getting better. I'm picking up.
Puerto Ricans, we speak fast, and we like destroyed Spanish. So
Oh, wait.
if I don't want him,
I think
to
I can give you a little
understand-
run for your money because my Colombian Spanish
I
is
know.
fast.
I know that if I go really fast, you're not gonna understand it. Sorry.
We'll see.
And I think one of the reasons this is such an important book is because, and all bilingual books are really important, is because for me, even though I watched, television in Spanish, I spoke to my mom in Spanish. For me, like it was the spelling, it was the grammar, all those things. Like that was really hard for me to pick up because, when I went to school and Sebi just started kindergarten, congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you.
And that's obviously a big step. And so, for me, it was so hard to kind of learn everything English, grammar, everything, and then kind of, I can speak in Spanish, but can I write in it? Can
Of
I,
course.
read in it? Those are
It's
things.
hard. It's hard. And what I tell her every single day is when she starts like, "Mom, in English," I'm trying to really have her memorize the following line. You're gonna regret it one day if you don't speak Spanish.
Yes.
It is so valuable nowadays. It's such a wonderful language. It's like when it comes to when you grow old, it's incredible to say I'm bilingual, and I'm fluent in 2 languages, especially Spanish, which is nowadays pretty much bigger than English.
And I don't. And
You know what I mean?
I push her so she doesn't see me resist it. I'm constantly
Right.
like Sebi, even to the point that if she's watching a cartoon, I'll mute it, switch it over to Spanish,
Oh, yeah,
so
the
she
cartoons
watches
are
all
all
her
in
cartoons in
Spanish.
Spanish. If
Yeah.
it's available in Spanish, she's only watching
Watching
in
it in
Spanish.
Spanish.
He gets mad at me when I don't do it. Like if it's super early and I'm doing her breakfast, he's like, "Ross, the TV is in English." I'm going, "Oh, okay, let me."
So in a way, it's like it tricks her. So she doesn't
Yeah.
know that it's available in English,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, if you want to watch the cartoon, you're gonna learn at the same time.
I did an Instagram
good.
thing. I don't know if you guys, any of you follow me on Instagram, and people give me a lot of problems when I post in English, right? And it's so weird because I'm usually very good at posting in English and Spanish. I think I am, So we went on a little vacation, and I did a video of the 3 of us, like he was taking us to dinner, and I did it in English because my husband is sitting next to me and he doesn't speak Spanish, right? So it's normal. Oh my God, I got so many comments of people so mad at me. Tú, ¿qué te crees? Que habla en español? Like your little girl doesn't speak any Spanish. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, she does. So we went to dinner and I just couldn't let it go, which is wrong because I should just not do that, like
Not
keep
feed the
thinking
troll.
about it. So I went back to the hotel and said, Sebi, do me a favor. I'm gonna tape you and can you do a video telling people that you speak Spanish? And she's like, yeah, I know, like mad, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna show them that, And she was eating a lollipop, right? And she started going, I was so cute. And she's like, cálmate, yo hablo español, me estoy comiendo una paleta. But it was like full Mexican. And I'm recording it, but it was so cute that I didn't want to stop.
Yeah.
But I felt like going, what are you doing?
And even I'm the one that,
He's like, "Why are
noticed
you
it. I'm like,
speaking-"
she's talking with a Mexican accent.
Why are you
It's like,
speaking?
why is that happening?
And
She's
she's like,
Puerto
me
Rican
estoy comiendo una
accent.
paleta,
El Salvadorian.
cálmate,
Is it the shows that
relájate.
she's watching, or
Oh,
they, like,
it was
in-
the funniest thing, right? So I posted it as a laugh, and then everybody's cracking up. She became like a sensation. It was like all over the paper, the TV shows
Oh
in
my
Puerto Rico, a
God.
sensation. She's more famous than me. And but people were laughing, going, why is she speaking like
Mexicans.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because we live in California.
I have,
Maybe sometimes it's also the way when they do the Spanish version of like
Maybe
cartoons
the
or whatever,
muñequitos
they use like a
yeah.
different.
Oh, that's actually
Maybe.
possible.
It's okay, I solved the mystery, everybody. I solved the
actually a good
mystery.
That's a good point. I never
Right?
thought about that.
Yeah.
They're not really neutral. I
No.
guess it's, yeah.
And Disney does the there's
Yeah,
so
like
much
Elena
of-
of Avila.
yeah.
I wonder, that's
Elena,
interesting.
she loves Elena Baba.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, I know, sorry.
Anyways, well now
let's
she has an even bigger opportunity to continue
Yes.
to be more famous than her mama.
Yeah.
Even though you're in this book too.
will.
And thank you guys so much. I'm gonna open it up for questions. I also want to say this is out September 15th, but you can
September
5th.
5th. Sorry,
September 5th.
September
And they
5th.
can
You can
pre-order
pre-order
Order
now
it
still.
now on Amazon.
Yes.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, a lot of them.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everywhere.
So we're gonna take some questions from the audience now.
Okay.
Hello. Hey, you
Hi.
two. Congrats on the book and congrats on the unborn baby.
Yes.
Thank
I was just wondering, with the new book already out, do you guys have any plans for more stories involving Sebi, or maybe for your second child as well?
That's a big hope
We
of
would
ours.
love
Yeah.
it,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the whole idea when we were like Sebi and the land of cha-cha-cha, that became the land of the dance. The dances we're talking about, and there might be more dances, but we want to, eventually possibly Sebi and the land of wherever, salsa. Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
And just keep going. Like, take her on, Dora the Explorer, if you will. And let her go on adventures and take her in the land of a bunch of places and let the kids learn with her. That's the hope.
Yeah, that's a hope.
Be great.
We have to see.
Now we gotta
it-
figure out
it
something
needs
for
to
the
do-
boy.
It needs to do well. And then the no name boy. Huh? Feel like a cow.
No.
Ah, una
Look
vaca.
beautiful. Radiating.
Una vaca.
Yes.
Hi. I was wondering, what was it like working with the illustrator, and did the product come out the way you envisioned it?
We did. We went with Nivia Ortiz. Nivia is an illustrator from Puerto Rico. We had like 3 people in mind. I actually sent a lot of my friends an email with different illustrators saying, we're doing a children's book. Who's your favorite? And everybody had very different styles. I love Nivia's work. She's very, very well known in Puerto Rico as an illustrator. And she's wonderful, and of course we went back and forth. She's very specific with her style. But we love it. And we just wanted something that people would just, it's our first book. So when it comes to the publishing world, it's really, really interesting how, they tell you when somebody's walking into like Barnes and Nobles, right? And you want something that pops. Like to me, I would have like more subtle colors, because it's just my taste. But they say no, when you're competing with all these different things, you need something that is going to
What's gonna
really
stand out.
And
shelves.
we think
And that was
because of the
something
big
with
eyes.
Nivia's work, her animation, her characters really pop.
Yeah.
And the process was very interesting because we never have done this before. There's just so many things to consider, not just color of this, color of that, but every little sketch detail, like, how we wanted to see the monkey, was it, you want this, that. It was so many things. It was it took a year
It's a
of
different world.
illustration,
We
which
learn because
I
we
guess
come
is
from the
fast.
acting world, so this whole literario, mundo literario, right? The publishing world is a different animal. So it was really interesting.
And one last.
Thank you.
What were the psychological effects of making this book, and what advice would you give to other authors that will make that's trying to make a book like this, a children's book like this?
I don't know if there's psychological effects. It's always
It's the challenge of getting your creative vision told
Right.
and received, right?
Yeah.
Which is like a challenging part in this business in general. It's like what you have in your mind, translating that, getting that on paper, and having somebody else fall in love with the story you're
because
trying to
people
tell.
see us as actors and producers, so it's like, now they're right too, children, so you're always hoping that people will get it. I light a lot of candles.
A lot of praying. It's gonna work. It's gonna work.
There's a lot of praying involved, saying,
But
God,
there is,
please,
yeah, he's not wrong. There
allow
is
it
a
to do well.
psychological. There's a battle. You have this whole, and I guess as actors, we've been able to learn to deal with that more so that so many opinions in what your work is.
Yeah.
And
You just have to
was
put it
that-
out there with love, and hope for the best.
yeah,
You know?
and if you're passionate about it, stick to your passion, stick to your guns. People want to hear. They want to hear your story. They want to. There is an audience out there. So I say, just never give up on it and keep pushing.
And it's wonderful that you guys are doing that for the bilingual parents and children to come.
Yeah, I think so. It's the only one that tackles that. So we think it's relevant. We think it's beautiful. We're very proud of it, and Sebi, and it's as a parent, when she's 18, 19, 20 something years old, that she can look at this little book that my parents
Yeah.
did when I was 5.5. I'm hoping that she's gonna be like, wow, that was pretty neat,
Yeah, something to show on her first year or her year in kindergarten.
I wanted to give one to every single student, but everybody's saying, oh, all the other kids are gonna feel bad.
I was like, that's not cool. That might be a little weird. Let them buy it on their own.
Let her be the rock star.
Maybe you wanted to bring a book to school. And
Maybe just one book for the
Do you
library.
wanna have your
for the
own
school
book one day?
library. Yeah? Maybe. Well, this is wonderful. Again, September 5th.
Yeah.
You guys can pre-order today if you want on Amazon.
Amazon,
or
yeah.
Barnes & Noble, or et cetera, et cetera. Thank you guys so much for
Thank you
being
so
here
much.
with us and for talking
appreciate
with
it.
us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.